right, so time to play with this. And we're each going to roll a die. So Sarah, you're going to lead us, and you're going to tell Michael when, and Michael will tell you your number. And Danielle, if you could become visible also, this way we all do this exercise together. So Michael, you're in charge of telling us.
Just say when, Sarah. I'll draw a number for you.
Okay. When?
Sarah is a 5.
Anna.
Anna.
Okay.
2. Susie.
Roll them.
1.
Thank you.
Daniel.
Rita.
1.
Me.
I'm also a 1. And Maha.
Yeah.
3.
Excellent. So all the ones, raise your hand. Whew, lots of ones. So I roll a die and see in beloved the number that picked me. Can you see number 1 right here? Oops. So Anna, you're going to do the work for everyone, and Susie and Danielle, if you have questions. Or Michael, if you have questions, then ask it. Oh, no, Sarah, you were number 2, right?
I
No.
was number 2.
You were number 2. So Susie, Danielle, and Michael were 1. So Danielle, you're not muted, so you're going to do the exercise. So take us to the 4 bullet points here.
Looking at the solid code, what element or program am I working with? And that would be black ether.
Exactly.
What is the corresponding instrument of knowledge? How does it challenge me? Voice.
Very good.
Exactly what we talked about. And I even said it last night in an event. Is it true? Does it need to be said? Am I the one to say it? And now is the time to say it?
Excellent.
Yeah. What is the corresponding conscious archetype? How do I feel about it? And for me, it's about having a greater relationship and desire for understanding my greed.
Yes.
And why am I so grabbing? Why am I so externally oriented? Why am I so mesmerized by the material world?
Exactly.
Joseph Dispenza talks about material trance. And what is the corresponding desire? Can I relate to it? And, I have a greater desire and awareness about being alone, and I'm not so scared or at risk for, like, if I'm alone, am I just going to be freaking out like I'm by myself, like when I was a kid and I didn't have anyone to talk to? So the aloneness triggers my childhood trauma, and I can be alone and know that I'm not that trauma, that I'm much bigger than whatever story I have around a fear of being alone.
Very
I have a question over here. This is what kind of like, gets me, like I get it, but only halfway. I'm feeling, for example, that I have time in my life that I do need to feel, I do need to be alone. and like be secluded from the rest of the world, because like I feel like I need that time by myself, and I need a resting environment and feel good without any distractions, just me. So
Yes.
I'm thinking here, like, is it not okay to have that desire to be alone?
It's not only okay, that's the best possible thing.
Okay.
Because there's several levels. You can be in a crowd, you can be in a community and be lonely. You can also be in a crowd and in a community and be alone. So being alone does not necessarily mean having no people or no environment around you. It means resonating with being all one, means no separation. What I heard you say is a little bit like there are times where I lose myself so much that to find myself again, I need alone time. Because then in those alone time, I can remember what being all one is about.
Yes.
Very good. But the desire for aloneness is not dependent on not being with or without other people. It is solely to be connected to your true self and one within yourself. Does that make better sense?
It does, it does.
Excellent. Susie, any comments on your part since that number picked you too?
I think that last part is like the way I see it is like aloneness as a way to cleanse, right? Like you
Yes.
step into a sanctuary where you can just remember.
Yes.
So I think I forget all the time. You know,
exactly.
get in that trance.
It's a little bit like meditating. You
Mm-hmm.
can be meditating in complete silence. Hallelujah. But can you be meditating in noise?
Yeah.
That's the question. Can you bring your aloneness to a community without losing yourself?
Would that
That's,
be synonymous to peace? Could we
yeah,
use
yeah. Because then you're so congruent, you're so coherent, there's so much integrity that nothing out there corrupts you. You're a hermetic, as in Hermes. It doesn't come in. And for me, being like meditating with no noise or being in an environment where there's no other people strengthen me until I can go out and keep that going. Stop getting myself out because I'm motivated by greed.
Mm-hmm.
Does that resonate?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Absolutely. Michael, you also were picked by one. Any comments on your part, questions?
I just, from what I've learned about science and the quantum field, that's what I associate in my own meditations of the ether is like this holds everything.
Yeah.
Communication at the most broad and amazing and spooky and strange level. It has everything to
Exactly.
it. So, yeah,
Michael, would you read the note first?
certainly. The forward motion is how the love, LOVE, archetypes is how they, I think there's a typo. The forward motion is how the love archetypes are involved or invoked by their initial letters. For example, the letter L corresponds to leader. From there, it's O is officer, V is visionary, E is engineer. So that's where we get the capital L, capital O, capital V, capital E is the love code.
Yeah.
these four evolve until they can be in love forever and ever,
And
which is
that's
bringing in the ingenue, greed
Yeah.
ingenue, grace ingenue that frame the love code.
Isn't it lovely how English is the best transmitter, conveyor of Hebrew?
Hmm.
I got a hit listening to Michael. And with mythopoetic activities or folk tales, how they say, and they lived happily ever after.
Yes.
And I think that it's less about the king and the queen or the prince and the princess or the frog or whatnot, but when I am aligned inside myself with my leader, officer, visionary, and engineer, that I can live happily ever after. So I think there's a lot of double meanings there, but I think in some of those folk stories, there's something about internal marriages that is being evoked.
Lovely.
Internal marriages.
That's lovely. Thank you, Danielle. So, Anna, you rolled 2, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about the roll of your die.
The role of
2.
oh, um, I roll a die and see in below what number picked me. Looking at the solid code, what element and or program am I working with? Green wood.
Yes.
Okay. What is the corresponding instrument of knowledge? How does it challenge me? That's the spirit.
Yes. How does spirit challenge you in today?
Who? Um, um, should I say the questions that come to my mind? Um, am I on the right path? Um,
Yeah.
what if everything is wrong?
Yeah.
What if I fail?
Very good. So can you see that you have a high desire for consciousness?
Yes.
And that's not a coincidence that Grace Ingenue picked you today. Okay,
Yes.
lovely. So I started saying I'm shockingly transformed, and what picked me is exactly that. The heart of leadership that leads to desire for transformation. That's exactly where I am. And Sarah, you picked 5, is
Yeah.
that? Okay. So tell us about what is the archetype that moves you, what's the instrument of knowledge, and what's your desire?
Okay.
What can you relate to in that?
So looking at the solid code, I see blue water.
Yes.
And water always makes me really happy. What is the corresponding instrument of knowledge and how does it challenge me? Soul. Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you desire to pass, which
No,
is
no,
also
no.
acceptable.
No, let's see. What is
What is it you don't want to feel right now?
Oh no, I'm trying to come up with a right answer. No, soul. I feel my soul. I feel the water. But I always feel like there's a right answer.
Okay.
So how does it challenge me? Rolling with what my soul wants to do,
Yes.
just rolling with it.
Yeah.
I do want to control it sometimes rather than let the soul be a soul.
Good insight.
What is the corresponding conscious archetype? Visionary, how do I feel about it? I love that it's the visionary, and I love that I get to let my soul reveal its vision when I'm not trying to control it. And
Indeed.
what is the corresponding desire I can relate to it? Transparency, which what I'm doing right now.
Exactly. Lovely, Sarah. Thank you. Okay, so moving right along.